Welcome to Start Building Me. I'm Dave. This is my nightly training session to prove to you that training is mandatory. It is a part of being healthy, folks. Just like eating, sleeping, drinking water, everything else you can think of that health is healthy, so is exercise. It doesn't have to be what you think it is and what the fitness industry has lied to you about for the last few decades. You've just got to basically get yourself moving, which most people do very, very little of during the day, and it all adds up, folks. If you can do a little bit every day, it compounds, it snowballs, and it's like a multiplier effect, and you get benefits from it as you go forward. I've had a few days off, so you've got to take the bitter with the sweet. I always say that on Start Building Me. If you cannot make a session, you've got something to do, you're injured, whatever it is, I don't expect you to be here. I don't expect anybody to be here at any time. But I do know, speaking from myself and my entire life, that I'm definitely better off with exercise, both mentally, physically, and spiritually, folks. Something that I'll get into when I develop all my all my contacts at the CIA, all my content, which has been pushed back a little bit. My video editor said he's going to have it mid-December, so whatever, everybody's winding it down for the end of the year, so I don't really care. My knee was swollen. Yesterday when I was driving, I bit my tongue as well. That's pretty gross anyway, never mind. It seems to be okay now though, so I can speak. I'm speaking like that, like Lou Farina yesterday, so I thought I'd give it another miss, give my knee a bit of a time to rest as well. So what are we doing, folks? What we're doing every single time, folks, is squats. We always warm up with squats because squats is something that you should be able to do, and also you should be able to master in the span of your life, right? So everybody can stand up from the edge of their bed or their desk or a box like me, my fancy box from Bunnings. The assonance or alliteration, I haven't studied linguistics in a while. I cannot remember, folks, nor do I care. Read a book for the value of reading the book. I found literature always painful, dissecting something that didn't need to be dissected. It made me think of how Kurt Cobain said the meaning of his lyrics are nothing, it's meaningless, and people were just wasting their time. I have a feeling that's a lot of literature out there. Anyway, we're sitting down, we're standing up. If you have the most basic level of competence, i.e. unconscious incompetence, you don't know what you're doing at all, you can sit down on something like this and you can stand back up, folks, without even thinking about it. Sit down and stand up. So this is unconscious competence. You're following my instructions, you don't know why, you have no idea, but I am telling you that it's exercise, so you're like, okay, I'll comply with that. And I'm not all about compliance, folks, let me tell you, but this is one thing that I can tell you that you can comply to. It's to be better off for your health. Now, this is another thing that I really want to drill into anybody here that's watching. The repetitions, i.e. the amount of times you're going to squat, are really, really arbitrary. All we're trying to do is do a little bit every day, just to really cement to your brain and to your body as well what it is that we're doing. So we want to do it proficiently and efficiently. We don't want to go and, let's see how many repetitions we can get done in the next 15 minutes. That's not what I'm here trying to demonstrate, right? That will be further down the track. Keep building me, advanced building me, davedestroys.me, whatever it is that I will be moving on to next. All I'm trying to do is, like myself here today, was to come here, make a bit of a positive environment, try to send a positive message out there through the cosmos, and demonstrate what it is that I do every time where I have an injury, anytime where I get depressed or get anxious, starting a new job, anything that, or move into a new place, whatever it is, and you're finding that you're slipping a bit, you're not feeling too positive, then this is something that you really want to focus on. It's that I'm not a huge fan of what is his name, Anthony Robbins, but he had this one cool element that I really liked in his self-help stuff, which was your hour of power, right? Everybody should do something over the course of the day, just 1 hour, that's for themselves specifically. Now, there will be certain people out there that tells you that this is called devil worship. Devil worship was always labeled that by various Abrahamic religions that said that you always have to serve the collective, never serve the individual. Now, even from that perspective, when the planes crash and you put the mask on yourself before you put the mask on the child, right? It just makes sense, else both people could die if one proficient person, one consciously competent person doesn't help out the youth. So that's what we're trying to do here as well. We're trying to get this message across that you should be looking after yourself, folks. By looking after yourself, you'll be able to help others. So you're always going to be in a better position to do this, folks. So today I took it pretty easy, watched a lot of television. I really didn't do too much at all, and that's why I thought, look, I've walked the dogs, I've mowed the lawns, I've had a cycle on my virtual bike ride. Now I'm just going to come and after a few days off, just get the ball rolling again, do a brief session. There's no football on this afternoon, or this evening rather, just a few games in the middle of the night which I won't be watching. And just demonstrate to you that even myself, whilst I'm doing these demonstrations, I'm not going for broke trying to count as many reps as I can. I'm just trying to say, hey, has my knee fully healed yet? I did a bit of running, a bit of cycling. My knee didn't feel so great. My dogs dragged me around a bush block and took off after some wildlife. It's a big no-no, no bueno in Australia if your dogs do that. So I charged off after them and busted my knee. So I had to rehabilitate that a little bit, folks, and it's thunderstorming at the moment, so it's not very that conducive of environment to rehabilitate yourself at the moment. So like always, slow and steady wins a race. You come back after an injury and you just test the waters and see how you're going. Do a few squats. As I'll demonstrate from the side, trying to keep my back straight. If you find that your back sort of like a pendulum swings down too far forward, maybe try standing a little bit wider, line your toes up on an imaginary line, or I've got an actual line here that I can sit down onto. Sit down, weight going to the outside of your feet, sitting back into your heels and back up. And what we're doing is, as I can feel my heart rate going up, we're pumping those prime movers, our quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes and lower back. The more you do that, folks, the more you're pumping the blood through your body, needing your body to reoxygenate that blood, and that process is called cardiovascular exercise. As you well know, or you may have heard about, that's the process of it. So that's what we're doing here every day with a few push-ups, keep the blood pumping through, and just a little bit every day, folks. That's always what I'm trying to say here. Like and subscribe. I use Twitch mainly. My hat's disappearing again. My goodness, that irritates me. And like I said, slow and steady wins a race. So every now and then, if you're in the area, if you see my screen pop up, then come and say hello and do a brief training session. Ask any questions if you have any, or stay silent. I like the lurkers, and lurkers come forward from time to time. It's good to see people in here. But look, like I said, this is a proof of concept where I train every night to just try and get people in who have never trained before, to give them this virtual environment that they can access from a smartphone, laptop, smart TV, in their living room, in their home. They don't need any other expenses, don't need fancy clothes, don't need anything, and can just do exercises that are the foundation to even what professional athletes do, right? So the stuff that I'm showing you is basic compound movements that in the end you'll see will amount to stuff that you'll see people doing at the gym who are powerlifters, Olympic lifters, rowers, rugby players, you name it. Any professional athlete will do different, like derivatives, different versions of these exercises that I'm doing. But this is the most, like I said, this is the most foundational. This is the foundation of all these compound movements, right? So, like I said, this is where the exercise comes from. Sitting down and standing up, sitting down and standing up. It's that basic, right? You don't have to overthink it for this time. You do a few, take a break, and breathe. Let it out. My goodness, people forget to breathe, folks, and not just athletes. Everybody forgets to breathe. It's something that has been conducted in various experiments for ages now, like the average breath that people take, and then you give them a task, something new, and their rate of breathing usually slows down. They'll be holding onto their breath. It's a novice issue where when people start focusing on something that they need to do, then all of a sudden they throw a whole bunch of other stuff out the window and stop breathing. What happens when you stop breathing, folks? Your brain doesn't work properly anymore. So I need to take my own advice, folks, and breathe. Take a load off, as I always say. The repetitions are arbitrary, i.e. it doesn't matter how many you do. The time is more important, and that's why when I'm looking at metrics to score on Twitch, the bot counts points and it counts time, and time's probably the better metric because, you know, points can be gamed, time can be gamed as well, to be fair, but you just want somebody to come here and listen, and over time they'll start to see evidence for what I'm saying. And that evidence is that when you do consistent exercise, folks, it will improve your life in ways that you will not know until you do it. You cannot steal fitness, you cannot buy it, you can't hack it, somebody can't give it to you. You have to earn it, you have to put in the time, and that's why it's so revered, because people know that you must have earned it. They know that you couldn't have cheated it out of some system or gamed it. If you think about it, people getting cosmetic surgery, it's always really obvious when they've done it. Maybe not to them, maybe they're deluding themselves, but to anybody who has a clue, folks, you will see that they've had cosmetic surgery. Instead of just doing this, folks, and it really is this simple, if this is the only exercise you did all day, take a few squats, sit back at your desk. I do it always. If I'm falling asleep, and I've got my own office, even when I've been in cubicles in Fortune 500 big corporations that I've worked at, I've stood up, I've had a bit of a stretch, you know, lean from side to side, done a few squats like this to get the blood pumping around my body, omniband in the house, and get that blood pumping again. And then all of a sudden, folks, instead of going down and slamming another cappuccino or flat white or you know, whatever it is that you're going to use to get a stimulant effect, you can just do this, and all of a sudden you'll find you'll be a lot more alert than you were previously. So it's something that I've really got to stress, folks, is that it is the panacea for well-being. Most people, when they say, oh, exercise doesn't make me, you know, not feel depressed, or I still feel anxious when I feel exercise, I put it to you, folks, you're either not exercising enough or you're doing the wrong stuff, right? It's something that you will be hard pressed to find somebody who's a sports physiologist or a doctor who says, yeah, don't bother with exercise, it doesn't improve your well-being, it doesn't improve your sleep, your digestive system, your anxiety, your depression. Like, obviously this stuff works. And another piece of evidence for it working is nobody ever mandates it. You know, nobody ever says this is important, you've got to do it, because there'd be too much backlash and it's not profitable. It's much more profitable to sell people, you know, laparoscopy surgery and stuff like that, instead of actually put it in the hard work. And as we're trying to discover here in Start Building Me, that isn't so much hard work. This is 15 minutes now. I'll do another 15. I'll do some squats and some push-ups. As I said, no football on tonight, unfortunately. I might play some GT7, read a little bit of a book, and go to bed. But like I said, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, had a good day, past tense, or about to have a good day. Get some blood pumping through your body, whether it's morning or night, and you will feel better for it. Even if it's for what I call the UNICEF solution, which is just to pat yourself on the back and say, hey, I did more exercise today than I did yesterday, which is certainly the case for me. I didn't do any exercise yesterday. I walked my dogs, and I think that was about it, really. And I wouldn't have walked them better because it was a thunderstorm here massively, but they were giving me death threats if I didn't take them out. So anyway, do a few more squats and we'll get going on some push-ups and see if anything aches. As I always say, numbers are arbitrary. It doesn't matter how many you do. You're competing against your own performance and your performance yesterday. That's it, folks. No more, no less. We're not competing with each other here or anything like that. Just do what you can do. Get the blood pumping. I feel myself sweating, which is good. My knee feels all right after a few days off, which is fantastic, folks. And I will switch my cam, get out of the way and do some push-ups. Now, so what's a push-up? If you cannot do a strict push-up, folks, I put it to you that that's the same. Do them off your knees. They're not cheating. It doesn't matter what some form stickler or some athlete tells you. You're pushing yourself up and you're pushing blood through your muscles, so it counts, right? This is start building me. As I said, this is not keep building me, advanced building me, destroy me, Dave. You know, like, it's get off the couch, get off your bed, get the blood pumping, whatever way you can do it. If you can do push-ups, strict push-ups, cool, do a few. Or just, like I said, here in a right angle, walk your hands out over, stretch your wrists a little bit, maybe bring them in closer, work your body out, and just stretch your wrists a little bit like that. Put a little bit of weight over your shoulders, no drama. Sit back, oh, crack, felt good. Walk your hands back out, put a bit of pressure on your hands. If you can't do a push-up yet, it doesn't really matter, folks. All we're trying to do is strengthen your ligaments, strengthen your tendons, the things that hold your muscles to your bones and will hold your muscles to your ligament. If you don't use pressure on your different bones, your bones start to become brittle. So a lot of people, when they stop doing dynamic exercises when they get older, that's when they'll jump off a few stairs and just break their legs because they haven't conditioned their bones to have that sort of flexibility, that strength. So that's what we're trying to do, folks. We're trying to get you to that process to be able to start more plyometric, i.e. dynamic exercises, to make sure that you're not going to fall over and shatter, basically, like that character in the M. Night Shyamalan movie, Glass, Mr. Glass. You don't want to be like him. And obviously he had a condition, but people really neglect themselves, and I'm trying to teach people here to love themselves, like, you know, compete against yourself. This is the most important MMORPG that you'll ever play, folks. You're developing a character. That character's you. This bag of bones, this flesh bag that we're carrying around, this is the main character. This is always the main character. Doesn't matter which iteration of what game it is. If you improve this character that we're trying to work on here, then this will improve the way your brain works and how well you sleep, your coordination, reaction time. Everything comes from the health and condition that your body's in, folks. And that's what I'm trying to teach you here. And you cannot buy it, you cannot cheat it, steal it. There's no other way to get it but putting in the time. I hate to tell you. So just help yourself out and put in some time, get some blood pumping through your body. Like I said, this is 2 for 1. I get to explain people to explain people how to get results from training, and I get to train at the same time. So it's a 2 for 1. After I've done this, I've had my protein shake, I'll hang out with my dogs, play a bit of Gran Turismo, and then have a pretty early night because there's no football on, like I said. So I'm just going to bust out a few more push-ups and get out of here. Hope you guys are up to some cool stuff tonight. Anywhere in the world where you are, like I said, you can always catch me either on Twitch or on Twitter. Maybe not for that much longer if Elon Musk rams it into the ground, or Facebook at the Start Building Me page, of course. keep it civil, folks. I'm trying to attract people who are new to the training, so that could be children as well, to try and get people into the thing that has given me most joy and has improved my health the most in my life, which is exercise and training, folks. I wouldn't be doing this if it didn't work. That's that simple. I'm here as a disciple of health and exercise. And exercise, like I said, has literally brought me back from the dead, folks. I am that healthy that there have been times where they thought he's not going to make it, and lo and behold, I'm still here. I'm still standing, like Elton John style, folks. So tense your butt, dig your feet into the ground, breathe. And like I said, if you cannot do them off a strict push-up, do them off your knees and ignore what people say. Doesn't matter what they say. You're competing against yourself and your performance yesterday. So who cares what they say? Who cares what everybody and their opinion and these naysayers say? Just do whatever you've got. Get the blood pumping through a little bit and call it a night. My toes are still a bit sore. I've got to work on that. I've taken a few days out of my freezer box because it's been thunderstorming and I'm a wimp. So I've got to practice what I preach, folks, and submit to the gods of health. Who would that be? Probably Thor or one of the Viking gods. Yeah, let's stick with Thor or Odin, because Odin's the father of Thor, I think. I can't remember my death metal mythology, folks. A shame. Bust out a few. Take a break. Breathe. I'll be looking forward to having a good sleep. I have been sleeping a little bit better, but the gods of World Cup football are dragging me in, folks. I cannot stop watching it. Seeing Brazil beat Switzerland was a great game. Last night, nothing coming up until the morning, where I will watch UK versus Wales at 5 a.m, I think it is. See what the gambling community suggests me to put money on. I have my eyes set on either England or a draw, I think, is where I'll be putting my money down. And yeah, I've had food. I don't need to go out and get a kebab or something dirty. I'll try and keep it clean this week. I've been eating my kimchi like a good boy and my vitamins, and I'll leave it at that with 20 more. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Anyway, I'm back, folks, for this week. Sorry for my absence and hiatus. Good to see you, Omniband. Sorry I didn't chat so much, but I wanted to get an exercise in myself. Love you all anywhere in the world where you are, and hope this adds something positive to your day. Shoot me a question if you have the time or need anything answered, and I'll see you this time here tomorrow. Have a good night.